Apple is rumored to be developing special battery case for the iPhone 17 Air, as internal testing shows the new upcoming slim flagship will not be able to hold a charge for the entire day. My worst fears for these slender phones are coming true. It looks like my desire to get my hands on one of these devices is getting slimmer and slimmer by the day. Pun intended. Wait until you hear this. The iPhone 17 Air was also going to be labeled as a questionable release from Apple because its ultra-thin chassis means that the company has to make a large degree of compromises in the battery department. According to the latest report, the Apple might announce a separate battery case for the upcoming model, as the internal testing has revealed that the iPhone 17 Air actually delivers worse battery life compared to the company's other models. We all sort of knew this was going to be the outcome, but we didn't know it was going to be this bad. During the internal testing, Apple determined that only 60 to 70% of users could keep the iPhone 17 Air powered through the entire day under normal usage. That means the phone would be dead for up to 40% or 4 out of 10 by the end of the day. The exact capacity of the iPhone 17 Air has not been mentioned in the latest report published. The sleek flagship will not be able to compete in battery life compared to the rest of the models. As mentioned earlier, Apple's internal testing phase revealed that only 60 to 70% of users can get through a 24-hour period without completely depleting the battery. Apple did not mention what specific activities were carried out on the iPhone 17 Air during testing to prevent its charge from touching 0% before the day ends. But in comparison, other iPhone models' metric was between 80% and 90% were able to last an entire day. Keep in mind that Apple's internal testing estimations and real-world use cases will vary, not to mention that continuous charging will reduce battery health. To alleviate these problems, the newly published Insider report states that a battery case will be developed separately for the iPhone 17 Air. Given that the device's thickness will measure just 5.5 millimeters, strapping a battery case should not encumber the user's daily habits, and it will deliver a massive boost to the overall runtime. The external battery has to come in a form of a battery case because this new iPhone 17 Air is so thin that Apple did not incorporate a MagSafe ring on the backside of the new iPhone model. Now, I don't know about you, but doesn't the use of a big and bulky battery case defeat the purpose of having a slim phone in the first place? I mean, with the battery case on the iPhone 17 Air, it will be just as thick and big as an iPhone 17 Pro Max at that point. Why buy the new slim phone? That reminds me, Samsung is just weeks away from launching its own slim version of its latest flagship device, the Samsung Galaxy S25 Edge. Like the iPhone 17 Air, the S25 Edge is said to be using a very small battery by today's terms. It is rumored to have a 38 or 3900 milliamp per hour battery, which should be close to the size Apple is using in the iPhone 17 Air. Nothing has been confirmed yet, but just by size comparisons should be close. I think Apple and Samsung are introducing these slim phones a year too early. With conventional lithium-ion batteries, these phones have yet to reach its full potential. It won't be until both of these companies can implement the new silicone carbon batteries is when you will see slim phones reach their full potential. Silicone carbon batteries allow these phone makers to essentially cram in more power in the same size battery. Silicone carbon batteries also allow for a longer lifespan than traditional lithium-ion batteries. Silicon carbon also keep temperatures down during high load usage. I have seen a few reports saying that Apple will be using silicone carbon batteries or their own version of silicon carbon technology in the batteries for all iPhone 17 models. I just did a fair amount of research and there are reports on both sides. They might and they might not. Time will tell, and we will only find out for sure on launch day. I can tell you this. If Apple is using the new silicone carbon battery technology in all iPhone 17 models, including this iPhone 17 Air, and they are still getting very poor battery life out of this iPhone 17 Air, this specific model and Apple are in trouble. For Apple's sake, let's hope this is old battery technology being tested in the new iPhone 17 Air. That is another downside to these slim phones that nobody else seems to be talking about besides myself. Apple and Samsung are using very powerful processors in these devices. Physically having less room or space for the heat to dissipate when the processor is generating lots of it under heavy usage could be a major issue once these are released to the public. If and when these do overheat, don't be surprised if Apple or Samsung issue a software update that reduces the power each one of these crank out. Sort of like what Apple did for the overheating iPhone 15 Pro Max. That is why the use of a silicone carbon battery or something of the sort is crucial for the slim phone to see its potential met. I might take my own advice on these devices. I initially wanted to get both the iPhone 17 Air and Samsung Galaxy S25 Edge when rumored to be launched, but now my better senses are telling me to wait another year. For me to wait for the second gen model. You see companies have these grand ideas and introduce something completely new to the market. There is always a negative or something that comes to light that they did not anticipate happening or couldn't get a grasp on in testing for the first gen rollout. I think the Achilles heel for the slim phone segment is going to be heat and/or battery life. They sort of go together or play off of one another. Until they get silicone carbon batteries inside the slim phones, I think I will stay away. If you really want to get one, remember, they have return policies, usually capped at 2 weeks. Get one if you are really wanting to scratch that itch of cutting-edge technology. Test it hard for the first week and a half, and if it is not living up to your daily needs and standards, send the damn thing back. Wait for the second generation to be released like myself. Both Apple and Samsung are currently testing silicone carbon batteries and are right on the edge of mass production. No official word yet, but it looks like they both will start producing phones with silicone carbon batteries starting in the next year or two. Pricing details of Apple's iPhone 17 Air extended battery case are not available at this time, nor is it mentioned if Apple's third-party accessory manufacturers will proceed to make more affordable alternatives. The Samsung Galaxy S25 Edge is set to launch in this month of May, and the iPhone 17 Air is expected to launch in September. We will have more information for our subscribers then, so please subscribe to the channel and stay tuned for more updates.